Hello Facebook, YouTube, and wherever else this video may land. My name is Brian Needleman, and the reason why I'm popping on here today on an impromptu basis is that I have some thoughts and feelings regarding gun violence and the need for stricter gun control laws. There's going to be many people here that will agree with what I'm saying. There's going to be many people here who will completely disagree with what I'm saying, and maybe everything else in between. I'm not trying to obtain anybody's approval, and I'm certainly not trying to piss people off, although I have spent a lifetime pissing people off. Elie Wiesel was a Holocaust survivor, and essentially he said many things, but essentially he said that ignoring a problem or ignoring an injustice is essentially enabling it. I was listening to a friend of mine give a talk today. Her name is Amy Boswinkle. She was speaking on Facebook. She's a intuitive healer. She's a health coach. She knows a lot of stuff about nutrition, health, and all kinds of good stuff. She's a dynamic person. And she was giving some feedback regarding what happened, and she was talking about how we need to take the time to grieve, all this. And she was also encouraging that we can speak up about these kinds of things, but we want to make sure that we're not doing it from a place of anger and letting our bad energy sort of slip out, but taking a step back is what Amy was saying, and being able to speak from a place of clarity. The arguments of it doesn't matter, there's nothing that we can do to stop the gun violence, it's still going to continue, stricter gun laws are not going to do any difference, that's hogwash. And the arguments about, well, why do you guys have AK-47s and these advanced weapons that shoot with multiple rounds, and then why do you even own them in the first place? You're not in the military, you're not in law enforcement, you're not in police or any, those divisions should have them, but why does the common person have them or have access to them? I don't know. And people will say, well, it's because the Second Amendment says so. Yeah, it does, but it's not working for me anymore. It's just not working for me. The Founding Fathers originally created the Second Amendment for the purpose of self-defense. And for hunting. They were very supportive of the idea that people have a right to protect themselves from the British, protect your farms, protect them from thieves, and hunting for food. Okay, it made sense. And the weapon, the big guns that they had then, I think they had the pistol kind of guns, and they had muskets that shot like one bullet at a time there. But there's just too much of it that continues to happen regularly. What's happened in Florida, Las Vegas, and everywhere else, it's causing so much devastation and so much pain in people's lives. Families are really suffering, and it just needs to stop. I don't have all the answers, but I've got a couple of ideas. Number one, politicians need to be held accountable for their actions. Why is it that so many politicians are taking money from the NRA in the first place? I think personally that every single politician, I don't give a flying fuck whether you're Democrat, whether you're Republican, whether you're independent, whether you're Progressive Party, whether you're Communist Party, whether you're Tiddlywings Party, whether I'm a schmuck party, I don't care. The bottom line is that every single person, every politician, every governor, every person holding office that is accepting money from the IRA needs to be outed and publicly shamed and asked, why are you accepting money from the NRA? Why are you giving the NRA, why are you tossing their salad? And that essentially means licking their asshole. Why are you doing that? Why are you enabling this problem that's happening? That's the first thing that needs to happen. Another thing that needs to happen is they've got to do more strict background checks, but not just background checks. They've got to look at anybody that's got a history of drug and alcohol abuse, that's been in and out of rehabs, anybody that has a long history of mental health, they're on psychiatric medicines, they're depression, anxiety, where they have a history of impulse control, where the police have been out to their house a number of times, any background with a criminal history. You don't have the right to have guns. I know that sounds a bit cold, but that's just the way it is. Anybody with a criminal background, no, you shouldn't have access to a gun. And that's where it starts. They need to do more, and they need to dig in, and they need to come up with some type of a bipartisan agreement. I don't know how that's going to work, but they need to come up with some type of an answer that is going to prevent people that should not have access to guns from shooting people. Enough is enough. It's enough is enough that Congress and the Senate, this isn't a good time to deal with the problem. When the fuck is it a good time to deal with the problem? How many people have to die? How many families have to grieve their children being lost? I've been a psychotherapist, a licensed marriage family therapist for over 25 years now, and I've seen a lot of people deal with a lot of grief. I've worked with a number of people that have lost children to either gun violence or to some other type of a violence, and enough is enough. It's a hole in the heart that just never heals properly. Something needs to be done. And President Trump, going ahead and trying to kill all the gun laws that Obama set into place is a real schmucky, selfish thing to do. And then following the incident, you go ahead and say, I send you my prayers. Well, you know what? Prayers are sweet. It's a nice thing to go say, I send you my prayers and my love, but it's not enough. It's not enough. They need to put these things into place. They need to prevent certain people they're trying to get access to guns from getting them. That's how it starts. And I also think that they need to have, people need to get a psychological evaluation before having the right to purchase a weapon. This is my thoughts and my feelings on it. Feel free again to agree, to disagree, or whatnot. Take care. And to the families out there in Florida that lost children, I am profoundly sorry from the bottom of my heart. And I hope that something can be done in the future to stop this shit from happening. We can't stop every single violent thing from happening in the world, but there's a hell of a lot more that we can do, and it's time. Good day. Bye-bye.